today to start our Thanksgiving series. We have a few things that we're going to share. The first is stuffing. And how I did it was this. First, you take 7 slices of bread. I used 4 slices of Ezekiel bread, and I used 3 slices of just plain whole wheat bread. Okay? And then you take it and you cut it into cubes. First, you cut the slice in half, you cut the halves in halves, and then again. So you end up with like 8 pieces. Is that right? Yeah, 8 pieces. And then you cut it the other way as well. After you finish cutting them, you're going to arrange them on a parchment-lined baking sheet, like a cookie sheet. And you're going to put them in the oven for 10 minutes at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And what will happen is that slow, low oven will give you a crunchy crouton. You can even do croutons this way and use them in your salad. These are not seasoned or anything. So once you're done with that, this is what they look like. So when you bring them out after 10 minutes, you let them rest because they're hot. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is go to the stove and we're going to cook all of these things together. I'm using my 12-inch Hexaclad pan. It's perfect for this. So we come over to the stove over a medium heat. You're going to use 1/2 cup of veggie broth and you're going to put it in your fry pan, okay? Okay, we're going to put all these things into the fry pan. 1/3 cup of chopped celery. That's about 1 stalk. 3/4 cup of onion chopped. 1/4 cup of raisins. I use dark raisins and I also chop them smaller. This is a small apple. I mean, this apple was really tiny, maybe about that big. And it makes about 3/4 cup. But if you have a big apple, just cut it into small little chunks and make sure you get 3/4 cup. This is fresh parsley, which I'm finding out I really like using. This is 1/8 cup, which is, if some of you have been watching me for a while, you know that 1/8 cup is 2 tablespoons, fresh parsley. And then the spices are 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper, ground black pepper, and 1/4 teaspoon of sage. That's going to go in here. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I use Himalayan. I use 1/4 teaspoon of both paprika and marjoram. I'm going to put in the parsley as well. Get every single little piece because this fresh parsley tends to like to stick to ceramic. Okay, so now over to the stove. I'm just mixing up all these together. Put the lid on, make sure that your temperature is at medium, and cook for 5 minutes. You can stir occasionally. Okay, the different veggies and the raisins and apple is all done. So the next step is you take all of your breadcrumbs and put it into a bowl. Now, this is a huge bowl. And then you're going to go to get the thing I like about these pans, the handles don't get hot. And you're going to scrape all of these veggies, apples and fruit on top of these breadcrumbs. After that, take 2 cups of veggie broth and pour it over this mixture. If it looks too soupy and you don't like it, then you can use a little bit less. But I found that doing the 2 cups instead of 1.5 cups or 1 3/4 gives you a better mix. Okay, so we're going to throw this in. Add it gradually, and then you can look at it. When you toast the breadcrumbs, it gives it more body, and it is not so pasty tasting. I think it gives it more body. Now for me, this is the first time I've made this recipe several times, but I don't think I need that little bit. So I used all but 1/3 of a cup. I used 1 2/3 cup. So that's what's left over here. So my recommendation is for the liquid that you put in, the veggie broth, you could use water too, but it doesn't have much of a taste. Use between 1.5 cups to 2 cups. Okay? The next step, to take an 8x8 or a 9x9 parchment-lined square pan, and you're going to take this and dump it into here. Push into the corners. They're all wet. Nice and wet. If you have maybe a 2-quart, because this is a quart, but it's got all that other ingredients in it. So I would say more than just a quart baking pan, maybe a 2-quart or 1.5 quarts, and then if it's got a lid, then you can put the lid on. Because right now what you do and I do, because I don't like to have the aluminum touch my food. Instead of doing aluminum straight on here, I put wax paper on first, and then I put the aluminum on, so it doesn't touch the food. And what you're going to do is just put it on so it's nice and tight, and you put it into a 350-degree oven that you will bake for 25 minutes. After it bakes for 25 minutes, you're going to take this lid off, and you're going to let it bake for another, still at 350, for another 15 minutes. And what will happen is it'll get nice and browned. After it bakes for 25 minutes, and then take the aluminum off, and then it bakes for 15, this is what you have. But I'm going to cut a piece, and I'll show you what it looks like. Here we go. And so now it's all done. I'm going to taste it. I know it tastes really good. It's good. Now, this will pair very well with my brown rice gravy. Stuffing for Thanksgiving for 2021, a la Berta. Okay? That's it. The end of the video. So don't forget to subscribe, click on the bell, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave me some comments below. Okay? And let me know what you do, what you think. This is kind of the recipes I'm going to give you are going to be kind of, how should I say it? They're not going to be super easy, but it's going to be simple. But there's a lot of ingredients that have to go into making a good product, okay? And this is the first. So until next time, for the next installment for our Thanksgiving dinner, bye for now.